Peach's Kitchen with Chris and of course and Blair. Today we're making greens.
So we're going to start off by soaking the greens. We're going to start off by soaking the greens, and I usually put just a little bit of Dawn detergent in them, just a drop, just so it can knock that first little dirt off of the greens. And I soak them for about an hour, and then I rinse them off. I soak them in just very lukewarm water. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's lukewarm. And then I mix them around and I keep moving them, and basically not kneading them, but basically kneading them. You just, move them around, use both hands and get some of that, knock some of that dirt off, and you just keep going back and forth, back and forth. And then after you do that, you soak. We're on a soak right now. And we've gotten all of that soap off and rinsed it off, and then now we're doing another soak. So we're going to soak them again for a half an hour. Some people use salt, some people use other things. I use soap. I went to microbiology. I saw all of the germs that's on food along with everything else, and so I use soap. I use that for my vegetables and fruits as well when I first bring them home, and then I rinse them and let them air dry. So I'm going to do the same here, and we'll be back. So for this, I love garlic powder. I don't use garlic salt because I do so many other different salt mixtures. I don't use that. So I use, to get us started, I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of garlic powder because I have 6 pounds of collard greens. I'm going to use the 3 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2.5 tablespoons of Lawry seasoning salt, and 1 tablespoon of Montreal seasoning. And to rearrange your greens, you just take the leaves after they're clean. I do 3 soaks, 1 with the soap, 1 with just water, and then I rinse them off leaf by leaf to make sure there's nothing left on there. And then I rearrange them by putting them on top of each other. And then I put the bigger leaves in the back so it'll be a little easier to roll and cut. And I just do them like this. I take them, I roll them like this, and I just cut them. About a 1/2 inch thick cut. And then I come back across them the other way, and I'll show you when I get there. For collard greens, I usually leave most of the stem for that because I like the stem. Actually, that's most of the vitamins in the stem. But for the other greens, like mustard and turnips, I kind of take some of the stem out, and I just go across it in the middle of them so that they won't be too long of a green. And I just take them, and so they can drain, I put them over in my container to make sure that they drain the excess water off in an extra bowl. And then I go over while the water is boiling with my meat. And I pour my seasoning over there. I usually don't measure for this, but this is what I'm starting off with. I'm definitely going to put more seasoning in as I go. I'm just going to turn that around with my knife a little bit so it can get moving. And as that boils down, then we'll come back with the greens. And so for this part, I turn on the stove on pretty high. And while I'm cleaning the greens, I usually use meat. Some people use pork because so many different people try my food, and a lot of people don't eat pork. I use smoked turkey tails because it gives you more grease as opposed to having the grease and the extra salt. I rinse off my turkey tails before I even put them on. So what comes from the store, I just go ahead and wash all of that extra grease off and dirt and whatever might be on there. I wash it off, and then I go ahead and stick it in my pot. And I put my seasonings in as well so they can boil with the turkey tails. And I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what the 6 pounds of cleaned greens look like. Cleaned and cut greens look like. But I have to clarify something. I did say, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I did say that you can keep the stem However, not all of the stem. You're going to keep some, but I did break off and got rid of this amount of stem, and the rest of the greens are in the strainer, draining some of that excess water off, and the other ones that have already been strained are here. And we have the water at a rolling boil over on the side, and I'm gonna go check that out. I'll be right back.
Done.
So we're over here at the water that's boiling, and it's got a good smell to it from the seasoning that I put in. However, that's not all of the seasoning I'm going to put in. I usually drizzle a little bit as I go. I know some people may think that's a lot of salt. However, as I go along and as it cooks down, I'll be able to taste to see where I am with it, because I don't measure. I usually just put it in there for each layer of green, even after I season my boiled water. So that's where we're going to be for right now. I'm going to come back and show you the greens once I start putting them in. I'm going to do them a little bit at a time. And so while it's got this boil going on, you just drop your greens over in there. And I'll give you a little secret. If you're not cooking this many greens, or, you know, you think you might want some later, if I were you, I'm not you, depending on who all you're cooking for, if it's just you or somebody else or whatever, you can boil some of these greens down, and after they boil just a little bit, take them out, let them cool off, stick them in the freezer, get all of the air out, stick them in the freezer, and you'll have them so you can boil them and they'll be like fresh when you get ready for them. So that's just a little tip. But for us, we need this many for our family, so they eat a lot of greens. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more in, and then I'm going to put some seasoning in. Seasoning salt. I use the Montreal seasoning because it's got a little kick to it. Because I put so much seasoning salt, I won't put too much in between it as I usually do. Put me a little Montreal seasoning and some more garlic powder. I use plenty of garlic powder because I like it. If you don't like it, if you're not a garlic fan, don't, but it gives it a good flavor. And once I get all of this in, I'll come back and let you know where I am. But at this point, just make sure you put enough seasoning in, because greens don't taste good bland. Okay, so the Montreal seasoning has coarse salt, spices, including black pepper, red pepper, garlic, onion, sunflower oil, and paprika. So if you have those things at home, you don't need the Montreal seasoning. You can just, you can buy that from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, if you like. The kind I use is McCormick, or yes, McCormick Grill Mates. But I also use black pepper, but I wait till it gets cooked down to use the black pepper, because this has coarse black pepper in it. So I don't want it too hot, but I do like a little spicy kick to it. And what you do is, because the bottom half has already begun, they're all done. It took a couple hours for them to cook. I let them boil down until they, got done. And now we're going to do a taste test and let the boys see if they liked it. Okay, guys, we're going to get ready to do the taste testing for the greens. See if you like them.
It's good.
Good, okay.